While 2017 had its fair share of amazing games, it also saw the release of some downright awful titles. From highly anticipated action shooters that disappointed everyone to indie platformers that came and went before anyone had time to notice, here are some of the worst-rated games of 2017. Play them at your own risk.
Watch out! A bear's attack! Wait, it's tame?
Hello Neighbor. Released for PC and Xbox One in December, the stealth survival horror game Hello Neighbor has players try to infiltrate their neighbor's basement to uncover his horrible secrets. Apparently, the biggest secret is how horrible this highly anticipated game ended up being. Critics and players were quick to bash the game's unpolished gameplay and frustrating puzzle system. On Metacritic, reviews put this game squarely in the generally unfavorable category. That's not the worst rating a game can get, but it's definitely enough to scare away any potential new players. Inner Chains. Horror FPS Inner Chains came out exclusively for PC in May. This indie title was made by Telepath's Tree and exists largely due to the support the studio received from fans in a Kickstarter campaign. The game's biggest selling point was its highly detailed futuristic world. And sure, Inner Chains looks gorgeous, but with unwieldy gameplay mechanics, it stayed chained to obscurity thanks to a low Metacritic score and a rash of frustrated players. Road Rage. The motorcycle combat game Road Rage has a simple premise. You ride around on motorcycles beating up other players. Remember how much fun Twisted Metal was? Well, this isn't nearly as fun, because instead, Road Rage is something a game like this should never be: boring and repetitive. Road Rage pulled in an abysmal Metacritic score, with critics going after the game's glitchy gameplay, its limited selection of weapons, and its blocky graphics. One player put it pretty succinctly in their review, saying that Road Rage looks like the PS2 threw up on the PS4. In other words, the only achievement you unlock by playing Road Rage is disappointment. Randall. Released for PS4 and PC by indie studio We The Force, Randall is a Metroid-style side-scroller set in a dystopian world. Players take control of a telepathic hero who's trying to take out the oppressive regime that rules the land. The game boasts a unique art style, but that's about all there is going for it. The developers apparently didn't manage to work out all the bugs prior to launch. The end result is an insanely frustrating experience, filled with sluggish combat controls and occasional attempts at humor.
In here, you're Randall, a schizophrenic guy with a cool hairstyle and super tight skinny jeans.
Not surprisingly, reviews for Randall were overwhelmingly negative, and most players never gave it a second glance. Dying Reborn. By combining Escape the Room gameplay with a Saw-influenced storyline, developer Oasis Games had a potentially great idea with Dying Reborn. The PlayStation website even name-checks the movie franchise in the official game description, saying, "Fans of movie series such as Saw need to look no further." In the end, the only connection to the Saw franchise is that most players would rather cut off a limb than finish playing this game.
No! Oh my god! Lawrence!
The VR-compatible game fell flat with most reviewers, although on the plus side, it's so short that you're all but guaranteed a platinum trophy for playing. If you can make it through the inane pop-up text and terrible voice acting, that is.
My head! What's with these headaches?
Dead Alliance. Maximum Games' zombie shooter Dead Alliance is set in a post-apocalyptic world where you use former military bases as refuges. That's all pretty standard for the zombie genre, but Dead Alliance's hook is that you can become allies with the undead and use them as weapons against your enemies.
Deploy them at any unsuspecting enemy and watch the zombie buffet begin.
Once you play for a few minutes, though, the novelty starts to wear off, and Dead Alliance becomes something truly horrifying, bland, repetitive, and disappointing. Couple that with an unbalanced matchmaking system and a distinct lack of maps or content, and Dead Alliance is just another run-of-the-mill FPS that isn't worth the price tag. Raid World War II. Released by Starbreeze Studios and 505 Games, Raid World War II is a 4-player co-op shooter. In the game, you team up to fight Nazis and steal Hitler's gold. While this sounds like a pretty fun concept, Raid just couldn't pull it off, with repetitive gameplay, senseless AI, and unpolished graphics. Vaccine. Released in July for Nintendo Switch, the action-adventure game Vaccine claimed to offer a new approach on survival horrors inspired by those of the 90s. The basic premise of the game is that you must search a randomly generated house for a vaccine to save your infected friend before time runs out. However, your friend will relapse if you don't discover the secret of the house, which will in turn force you to find the vaccine again in a new randomly generated map. Sounds like a really good way to get super frustrated. New Frontier Days, Founding Pioneers. This cheerful-looking farming simulator was released for the Switch in March and the PC in June. In New Frontier Days, you control a group of settlers setting up their village in a foreign land. You can build things, hunt animals, and expand your village as your population grows. Kind of like Age of Empires, but with Farmville graphics. On Metacritic, it scored a quick 52 with critics, and then got buried under, well, pretty much every other Switch game. It also didn't help that the official launch trailer looks and sounds like it was inspired by a Taco Bell orientation video.
Pets can help out the pioneers in many ways, such as allowing people to ride on them, and many more. I would want to ride that horse.
Who wouldn't? Vroom in the Night Sky. Developer Poisoft has the distinction of creating the worst game of 2017 with their Switch action title, Vroom in the Night Sky. As far as gameplay, Vroom's official trailer tells you all you need to know. Magical girls fly around the sky with a motorcycle. This game is such a strange game. That description pretty much sums it up. You fly around on a motorcycle and collect stars, while bots have poorly translated arguments in the corner of the screen. Strange? You bet. Vroom in the Night Sky scored an incredibly low 17 out of 100 on Metacritic. Apparently, even Nintendo decided to stop promoting the game because they removed it from their website in December 2017. Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.